Welcome, everyone. This is Gerardo Salgado with my book club reader and friends. We are gathered here today to enjoy some tea and discuss our October pick, Buenos Samaritanos, or Good Samaritans, as in English original, with a very special guest, Mr. Will Carver.
Hello.
Now, Mr. Carver is in English award-losing writer of the wild original fiction, as he states in his bio. Most of his readers are from Spanish language countries instead of English speakers, and I just need to say what a pity because you guys are losing an amazing, amazing writer.
Well, it's just done very well over there. I wasn't expecting it. So now I have more Spanish readers than I do English. It's crazy.
It is crazy. Maybe that's because we are a little weird sometimes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. He burst into the crime writing scene in 2011 with the January David series featuring Girl 4. But he refuses to be confined into one genre. So he also writes horror and darkly fun novels such as The Beersford and Psychopaths Anonymous. But the book we will be talking about today is a domestic noir, which is perfect for the spooky season. And by that, I mean that sometimes we are, supposed to fear the living because a killer will be very close to you and you may not know. I also invite you to check his recent release, a speculative fiction novel, Kill Them with Kindness, out now.
Thanks.
So, Mr.
Lovely.
Will,
Yes.
before we start with discussing our October pick, I'm curious to ask, um, what is Will Carver doing when he's not writing?
Well, I'm definitely not sleeping. I don't do that a lot, which is kind of where the idea for this book originated, because I struggled with insomnia a lot. So, I mean, I do a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I'm quite musical. I love films. Like I try to watch a couple of films a day if I can. Maybe three. I saw once that Quentin Tarantino watches three films a day, and I thought, yeah, I could do that. I can do that. Um, so yeah, I've got a big family. We've got five kids, all teenagers. So there's lots of driving people around the different places. So yeah, I read a lot. I don't know. I do what normal people do.
You're a very charming mind, and it is also, you know, it is an irony to see that someone who is very charming can write such dark stuff.
Well, all psychopaths are very charming. Don't forget, they have that superficial charm about them. Yeah.
Yeah, since you have like this exquisite taste, what will be your top five movies from all you've seen so far?
Oh, of all time. So my favorite film ever is a film called Cinema Paradiso, which is an Italian film about an old cinema. Oh, I love that obviously because it's about the movies as well, and it's just so sweet. The relationship between the boy and the older man as well is so nice. Manhattan by Woody Allen. I like all Woody Allen films, but I think that's my favorite. It's quite arty, and I like that it's in black and white, and it's just New York as a character as well. Good Will Hunting. I love that film. Just I think I understand what it's like to be a genius, and no one realizes. Maybe not. Gosh, and I really don't. I don't know the other two. My fourth and fifth, they can change day by day. So, but those are my top three for sure. Yeah. Oh, I should have. I feel like I should have put a Spanish speaking film in there, shouldn't I? Oh, I missed. Yeah, I do like. I like world cinema, so I do watch a lot of kind of Japanese films, French, Spanish. Yeah.
You're very international in that matter.
I do. Yeah, well, I do. Yeah, I'm interested in all cultures, so yeah, I do. I'll watch anything. I'll watch anything.
Yeah. I admire your insight in arts because for anyone who is watching this recording later, if you haven't visited his social media, he is very structured in the way he presents himself. For instance, his Instagram account is more like, this is what I am drinking, and this is what I am reading, and this is what I am writing. And it has been constant in that sense.
Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? I think I just
Yeah,
excuse me, sorry.
it's
I
okay.
was I was on Twitter quite a lot back when it was Twitter, and I found that was a really lovely way to kind of talk to other writers and readers. Um, it's not anymore. And I always found that Instagram was more for kind of fitness people, and it's always people with big muscles jumping around and stuff. It's not really for people who like books and reading. That was Twitter, and I feel like I didn't want to use it. I didn't know how to use it really. I thought, oh, so I'll just keep it so it looks nice. I'm having this drink, I'm writing this book, and I'm reading this book, and I've just carried that on. So it's not very interactive. Like some people just kind of come on and say, yeah, I've read that, it's good, and there's not really a conversation. So I'm still kind of looking for social media now that can replace what Twitter was, so that I can still talk to people, because it's not about just putting stuff out and showing people things. It's about having a dialogue and talking with people. So I need to find what that is now. I don't know what it is. It's certainly not TikTok. I'm too old for TikTok. I can't do that. You know.
I know, I have tried and I failed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the kids all know how to do it, but I just no, I can't.
Mhm, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, this is a nice way to leave this footprint in the internet history, you know. Well, so now after this introduction and after we have know a little bit of you,
Yeah.
um, can you tell us how was your process for writing Buenos Samaritanos?
Gosh, yes. I mean, I wrote this quite a long time ago. I had to read the back to remind myself what it was about. Um, but yeah, I think so. I'd written three books, three and a half books, like a novella. This January David series, and then my publisher just dropped me, so I didn't have a deal. So I spent a couple of years just kind of in the dark, like in a dark place, where I didn't have a deal, and I wasn't sleeping, and my marriage at the time was not great either. And I used writing this book to kind of get myself out of that, So and I think I was really looking for connection at the time. I felt completely disconnected from the world, from my relationship, and that's where I came up with the idea for Seth to have insomnia and be awake all night. And I just thought, oh, wouldn't it be great? Like he just phones people and just anyone who will talk to him, who he can then feel like he's connected to the world, which is what I was trying to do as well. So that's where it all began. It just began with that idea. Can I have someone phone and try to connect with people? And from there, I think I can't. It's really hard to remember this. I yeah, I obviously I'd been writing crime novels, so I needed a crime angle on it, and I thought, and I liked the idea that what's her name, Hadley. She is that's who he has the cross line with. Um, it's just an accident. This accident happens and it sparks a relationship, a connection, and obviously I don't want to spoil anything in the book, but it all goes really wrong. Um, and but I also wanted to explore the relationship that he has with his wife. This dysfunctional marriage where they shouldn't be together, but somehow something horrible that happens brings them close together. The way they react to that brings them close together. So really it was kind of, I see it as a bit of a love story. I know it's dark and it's bloody in places, but it really is about the relationship between Maeve and Seth and how they function while all of this other thing is going on around them. So yeah, that's yeah. And do you want to know if I like plot and stuff? Is that what you mean by my process? Because my process really is just I find a spark of an idea, and it's usually something that annoys me or makes me mad, and then I just roll with it. So I didn't know where this was going to go, how it was going to end. I did know that I wanted to do a twist it in the middle rather than leave it till the end, though. I quite like that idea. That's just when it's done right, it can be such a you know. I like if you watch the film From Dusk Till Dawn and you think you're watching kind of just like I don't even know like you think you're watching one movie and suddenly halfway through everyone's a vampire and it's like wait there what that's not what I that's not what I bought a ticket for, but it's great because it turns into something else, and that's kind of what I wanted to do, just to try something new.
Totally. And I think that the best way to get into Buenos Samaritanos is knowing nothing or barely nothing. Because in the beginning, you are very empathetic with every character in the novel. Um, and then you get to realize that they do such terrible things, but at the same time, they don't do it like with a bad heart or with bad
Yeah,
luck with someone. It's just like a consequence of not being able to communicate or not being able to decide the best, like more quick. But that is part of the shock that you get as a reader.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that is true. It is quite nice to really only know that little bit on the back of the book. I think
Yeah.
when this first came out in the UK, anyway, read reviewers had a real tough job saying, talking about the book and saying what it was about without ruining anything. So a lot of reviews were like, I don't know how to review this book, and it was quite funny. I had a lot of reviews that were like that, but that's quite nice, isn't it? I think like again, I'm going back to movies, but sometimes you watch like a movie trailer and you've seen all the best bits of the film, and when you go and see it, it's like I feel like I've seen this already, and yeah, so yeah, we can't say too much about it, can we? It's like Fight Club, you can't, you don't talk about Fight Club or whatever. Yeah.
The Good Samaritans Club.
Yes.
Yeah, so now I know that you have many questions, and by that I mean my friends in the book club. So who would like to go first, talking with your own experiences or your own questions or your insights after reading this book?
Who's coming in?
Don't be nervous, it's okay. Okay, Diana, please.
Hi, hello everyone. Hello, Mr. Will Carver. For me, it's really pleasure to be here with you. I discovered your book last year and I was massively, massively impressed while reading it. So that's why I'm very happy to be able to have like this chat with you right now.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. So I think that one of the things for the ones that was like more impressed about the book is because you can feel like, or you can like presence all the characters having like these spirals of meltdown, like not being able to go out of those places, but everything is because like a reaction to the very same decisions they have taken. At a moment I felt like I don't know how to say it, not precisely disappointed because I don't want to use that word, but it felt like there were places at the book where things were happening and me as a reader wanted to like to have a different outcome, like,
Yes.
but it was more like what I was idolizing about a story, like you wanted to have like the good ending or the perfect ending or what you are used to as a reader, but it was suddenly happening something completely different. But then
Yeah.
you find out that that's how life works. Life, it is not always going in the right direction, and that was like pretty amazing for me to interact with as a reader. But also at the same time, everything started like as you mentioned, like an accident. It felt like, for example, like superheroes. Some of them became superheroes because of a very specific accident. It has to happen in a very specific way,
Yeah.
and then everything else or goes down or goes up. But it was pretty different with the book. And I just felt that I would have liked to know more about the Sergeant Pace because we find him a lot in the book, but we are not able to go. I mean, he has an interaction with one of the characters, but I really would have liked to know more about him or to have a bigger interaction or a bigger place in the picture. But that would be like the biggest like opinion to the book, but
Yeah.
it massively impacted me that much that I was not precisely explaining the book to the club, but I was thinking a lot about it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my books, I do get in trouble because I won't tie everything up at the end, and I won't have an ending that's happy. I'd rather have something that's real. And a lot of life is, you don't find out, a major piece of information that you want to know, and you don't, and the boy doesn't always get with the girl, and and I like that. I know that readers often they just want it all tied up so they can put it down and say, oh yeah, that all makes sense. And I kind of I also, when I write characters, I don't give every bit of information about every character because I want the reader to be part of the story. And so, if we get some of my other books into Spanish, you'll see that I talk to the reader a lot. I talk to the reader a lot, like straight on. So they are a part of it as well. With the detective pace thing, I had written the book and there was no detective, and publishers were worried that I'd written a crime novel without a detective in it, and so I thought, I don't want to put a detective into this because I didn't need one to investigate the story. It wasn't that kind of novel, and so I thought, oh, I'll just have him on the background, like he appears on the news, and you just learn a little bit. It's that Sergeant Pace is whatever. So Detective Sergeant Pace is, and it's just you get a little snippet of him. But essentially, this is the first book in a series, and it's his series essentially. So after this book, I wrote a book called Nothing Important Happened Today, and again, he's not quite the main character. He has a side story that does link in with the main one, and then in the third book, that's his story. We finally find out who Detective Sergeant Pace is, where he comes from, where he goes to after the two cases in the first book. So I know that's kind of frustrating. People want to know, and they're like, "What?" I just kind of stuck him in there just to say there's more to come. So yes, if I get any more of my books translated, then you'll find out who he is. He's very interesting, actually. So, but yeah,
Thank you. Yes, after reading this book is when I started to look more after your work, and I found that like Sergeant Piss #2, Sergeant Piss #3, and I really wanted to go for it. Right now, I'm reading Kill 'Em with Kindness, so I'll let
oh
you know
wow,
later. Yes, I do have it here. I take it with me every day to the job.
oh,
Yes.
that's a very different book for me. So
Is it?
and I do tie everything up at the end in that one. Like
Okay.
it did need it. So yeah. Oh wow. Oh, so I'd kind of like if to know how it translates. Like if you'd read Good Samaritans in English and how close it was, because I don't know. I just trust that whoever is
Process.
responsible for translating it has done the right job. So
If you allow me to be very honest, it sometimes it has this special like uh, things that you can point out about the translation, but I mean, if you want a review from us as readers, we can talk about it later. We can email it to Gerardo and he can pass it out to you.
okay,
It's-
nice. Okay.
And also, I wanted to ask you, Because I think that's something that you also mentioned in your blog, that people say that they find you funny, but you are not like precisely sure like what the funny part of you, like your conversations with them are coming from. So how does that happen also in your book? Because I remember when I started reading Killing with Kindness, I was feeling like, I mean, I was laughing at a certain lines,
Yeah.
but I was like, is it like something that he just says out loud, or he only like thinks about it, but sometimes like keep it to himself, or just put it out to the world like the way how he does in the books?
Yeah, it's being funny is a weird thing, isn't it? But I think generally, so I always say that I take my writing really seriously, but I don't take myself very seriously. So I think in this kind of situation, I probably you talk to me and you think, well, how does he write those dark books? But I think I've found that it's really necessary in in these kinds of books to have that relief or that if you write such dark material, you have to have something, some light that goes against it, and I've realized that I need that in my novels. I think the book that comes after this, um, Nothing Important Happened Today, which is my favorite one that I've written, by the way. Um, it can feel a bit like I'm punching the reader in the face for like 250 pages because it's dark, 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 and I kind of and I realized, yeah, you can put humor in even if you're talking about horrible things, and actually it can get a point across better than being very serious or very dark if you're funny, if you're comical, and certainly in the new book, I do that. It's very kind of tongue in cheek. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And my last question would be, now, I mean, you said that you had to read the book again, and maybe that's something that could happen like to other authors, but precisely, specifically with this one, would you like to give a different ending to any of the characters? Or if you could you please just only one character that you would like to give a different ending to?
Oh, in this book, uh, no. No, I like how it ended for. Do you know I can't? Oh yes, I do remember now. Yes. No, it's perfect because I wrote a book, a few books after this called Psychopaths Anonymous, which actually follows the character of Maeve, and it all happens before this. And I think if I'd have changed anything, I might not have been able to get that book out. What's just happened? Why is everyone laughing? It looks like something's happened. Um, yeah. So no, I wouldn't have changed anything because it's perfect.
Well, yes, it is. I just wanted to know your point of view as an author. But thank you very much. Again, thank you for the book. We're very happy to have you here, and I will leave you with all of the other readers.
Thank you. Thanks. I do think a lot of writers kind of finish a book and then they're like, "Oh, I wish I'd have done something differently." I just because I write a lot and I write quickly, I tend to, as soon as I finished a book, I just forget about it. It's dead to me. It's just, oh, I'm done. Let's write another one. So it's just, I mean, it's too painful to just go back and think how I could have made it any better. Just it's there now. It's done. Let's write another one. Yeah.
That is amazing. And to be honest, I didn't know that there was a little background in Psychopaths Anonymous. So that is an amazing thing that we need to check out later on because we crave more Will Carver.
Well, that's the one I'm trying to get a translation deal for that book because I think it would be a great one to read after this because
Yeah, yeah.
that Maeve character, she's good in Good Samaritans, but she's brilliant in Psychopaths Anonymous. She's my favorite character I've ever written. She's wonderful fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it tells. We can tell. So if anyone watching this later is happens to be a translator, please let us know so we can make
Yeah,
a
let's get
proper
it done.
translation. And actually, regarding the translation, I can tell you that I read the first chapter in like this virtual sample in English language before purchasing my copy in Spanish, and they are quite similar. I mean,
Oh, good.
in the beginning, I didn't realize which was the location. Um, but yeah, I think that at least Planeta, the publishing house,
Yeah.
is doing a great job with this one.
Oh, that's good. It's good
Yeah.
to know.
So you can rest with in peace, and by that I don't mean that you are dying or anything. It's good.
Yeah, good.
So now, Liz, would you like to be the next one? The next
Come,
final girl?
come on, Liz. You look eager,
Yeah.
I
ready.
am. I am
Yeah,
because we just land on one of my favorite characters too, Maeve.
yeah,
So I want to ask about, you said that when you wrote the book, you were passing through a hard time,
yeah,
and you kind of relate with Seth. So my question is, could be Maeve like the personification of all these dark emotions, of all like this background in your life?
yeah. Was Maeve the personification of everything that was going on in my life? I don't know. I never think I put everything into one character.
All
So
right.
so certainly a little bit of every character. I mean, even Hadley, she was like the most lost out of all of them, and obviously in the beginning she wanted to end it all um, herself. That's why she was calling the Samaritans line. I never got to that stage. I was never, you know, that bad. But I think any writer will put just a little bit of themselves in each character. There'll never be one that is them. So no, she wasn't everything that was um that was wrong. Actually, she had quite a nice life in that she had quite a good job, and she'd come home and have a drink and watch crap TV and then fall asleep, and um yeah, so she was kind of the good stuff, I think. Yeah, which is why I think she became more interesting to me. And why I wanted to write about her again. So no, it wasn't just one. It's just, yeah, it was a bit of everyone.
Okay.
Because I mean, the insomnia thing, that was, yeah, that was me. I could be awake for kind of 3 days at a time, and it was just, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was real and what was not. And sometimes I thought I'd say things out loud, but I said them in my head. And then sometimes I thought I'd said them in my head, and I've said them out loud. And it was just a really weird time where like nothing was real. And yeah, I was seeing things close up. It was just a really weird time. And so he was a lot of me, but he's a bit pathetic, I think. And I like to think I'm not. So, you know, so yeah.
All right. So you said also that you kind of reflect the book in movies. And I'm just going to say that the plot of the book for me felt like when I was little and I was watching what was the name? This movie of breaking down of of Twilight.
Yeah.
Like this movie, this moment, this like explosion when you
Yeah.
realize that
Yes.
moment. Yeah, it was like a paralytic thing, life changing. Very much like I was mouth dropped, staring at my wall.
Oh,
And
brilliant.
I quite never, I mean, yes, I experienced that, but not that quite level. And you certainly set a barrier there. Like you left the hype, you know?
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because thriller is one of my favorite genres in books.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean, I haven't read a lot of authors, but the ones that I read, like John Katzenbach and stuff, um, as you say, there are always an inspector, a policeman, someone there that is trying to solve the case. In
Yeah.
those books, the reader is supposed to play the policeman, the guy who's looking for clues and
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. But here, there are so many pieces in the picture that I made my theories, and I have like this list of
Yeah.
who could be and who could be
Nice.
connected with who and stuff like would happen, but no. And in the end, nothing turns out the way I imagined. So that's when I was like, okay, I see this coming, but
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think this is, I always want to try and move things on and not just do things the same as they've always been done. And I think those kind of detective novels, the reader sits on the shoulder of the detective and just kind of goes with them as they unlock all the clues and everything. Whereas with this, you are the detective, right? You're not just there on the journey. You're figuring it out as you go, and I think that's much more interesting to read. All of these detective novels have their place, and some of them, when they're done well, are fantastic. But I don't read those books because they feel like this. Eventually, they kind of feel like the same book over and over again, and I didn't want to write something like that. I've been put in this crime and thriller genre, but I never think of myself as a crime writer or a thriller writer. I just think of myself as a writer, and I tell a story that I want to. So, like I said earlier, this is a story about a dysfunctional relationship. It's about a disconnected world. It's not about someone who's killing women and wrapping them up in plastic and putting them in. That's just happening. So yeah, I'm glad you felt like that. I love that. I mean, I remember reading the Da Vinci Code when it first came out, and
Oh,
I had a pad and a pencil, and I was writing down things, and I was trying to crack codes, and I love that. I'm glad other people do it. I didn't know, so yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be.
yeah, I personally enjoy very much, like, one of my favorite shows is Criminal Minds. So
Yeah,
I love like taking notes and solve the cases before everyone else. And
yeah,
when it's done, it's done. And I was right. And yeah, I really enjoy that.
yeah. And I think that's kind of why I put the twist in the middle as well, to
Yeah.
just throw everyone off. I think the ending of the book, I think by then you can kind of see that that's going to happen, the thing that happens at the end, but you don't see the middle happening. So
No,
that's it. That was fun.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, like you mentioned, the development of the relationship, like the codependency and how they lean on each other and stuff like that. It's very interesting to witness because as you said, like everything starts in a very in a place, in a very like longing place where they want to be there for each other, but in the end it turns in this like messy twisted thing when things need to be done right and
yeah,
everything needs to be like planned. And yeah, that's very deep too.
yeah. Well, I think it's that they were, as a couple, they weren't very good at the everyday stuff, going to work, coming home, having dinner, sitting down with each other and watching TV. Like that was, they found that difficult. But then something just crazy happens, and suddenly they're so close, they're so together, and I think that's a really interesting thing to think about, and that's kind of how I came up with Kill Them with Kindness, my latest book as well, because that whole COVID time was really hard for everyone, but it brought everyone together. Like, it was a horrible thing, and everyone was so much closer, and I felt like everyone was a little bit nicer. And it's the same with Good Samaritans. That thing, that crazy thing happened, and they're close, and it's just an interesting way of like looking at people. But it's real. It does happen. I always think that people are very nice at funerals, like that it brings people together. But weddings, there's always a fight. It's like, what is there? This is a happy moment between two people, and there's always someone who has an argument. But at a funeral, it never happens. And like bad things bring out good things in people. It's weird, but really interesting.
Yeah, human nature is weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Well, that's it, I think.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
gonna
thanks.
check the next book, the one you were talking about, because I'm really eager to know more about Maeve.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
she's wonderful. She's just so much fun. I think, and that book did really well, and people really loved her. So I think there's definitely another book with her in. I mean, everyone calls this the Detective Pace series, but I think it's the Maeve series. You know, she's the real
yeah,
hero for me, I think.
yeah. She's the real main
Yeah.
female character. Yeah.
I'm gonna pour myself another drink.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers. Just it's Saturday, you know, it's Saturday night here,
Yeah,
so
enjoy yourself.
yeah.
I really like the way that you think about how the bad things bring out good things from everyone. And this is a book that can be a discussion for many aspects of life and society. Um, every reader is going to experience something different, and they are going to learn something unique as well. But one of the first things that I think when I see this in the shelf is that sometimes, the bad guys win.
Yeah.
Sometimes, um, as you mentioned, someone who is the very bad or the villain in the story of others, um, it was not intentionally to do it, but still they get to
Yeah.
survive without any consequence. And that is something terrible that happens in life. So it's not really about ghost, about this fantasy stuff in horror, but
Yeah.
actually very dark and twisted thing from every individual. Um,
Yeah, do you
as-
know in the UK there used to be a law. I don't know if it was a law, but a rule or something. But on TV, if you had a like a cop show or something, you couldn't let the bad guy win. I mean, you can now, but back I don't know 80s, 90s, whatever. You had to like you were saying, Deanna, that you had to everything had to be tied up at the end, and the bad guy always had to get defeated, and the good guy had to win. And like we've kind of grown up with that as being the rule, and yeah, and it's not true, is it? So someone has to write that stuff. So I'll do it.
and I'm glad that someone get to write that book because it was going back to films, a very similar feeling, not the same, but similar to what I felt after watching this movie called Knives Out.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
sure. Yeah, because it is a very deconstructed crime story. And even though it recurs to classic crime elements of these kind of shows or movies,
yeah,
um, it is quite interesting to realize that you know the truth since the very first 20 minutes of the
yeah.
story. And as an spectator, as a watcher, as a reader, um, you don't want the case to be solved. You just want everything to keep hidden.
Yes. Which I love in all my books telling the reader what the twist is or who did it as early in the book as I can, but like hidden, and because I love Fight Club is one of my favorite books and films. I love that as well. But it's the second page. Someone that it says, "I know this because Tyler knows this," which is the whole twist of of the book. They're the same person, and you read it and you think, oh, that's a cool line, but you don't realize that on page 2 you've been told what the twist is at the end. And so I like doing that. I can't remember how I did it in this, but I always like to do that, get it in as early as possible. It's fun. But that film is great. It's as well, that Knives Out, because it feels like an old like Agatha Christie story, but like, you know,
Yeah,
it chops and changes
yeah,
between the characters in a really kind of modern way, which I love. Yeah. And
yeah,
it's
you're
fun.
right.
It's fun.
Um, I didn't
Yeah.
think of Agatha Christie's before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It
but
feels
it's
like that.
true. Yeah. Diana is telling everyone in the chat it happened to me with the end of The Silence of the Lambs.
Mm. All right. Yeah. Oh, I just saw something come up. Yes.
Well, my friend Fatima wishes to participate, but she shared to me in a text message.
Okay.
So I am going to read it
Okay.
in representation of her.
That's
She
fine.
says, I really enjoyed Good Samaritans. It's such a powerful and disturbing story that makes you think deeply about loneliness and human connection. Your writing style is unique and kept me hooked from the beginning. And as for your question, she says, which of the characters do you consider the most representative of today's society?
Mm. Well, yeah. I mean, again, it's difficult to just pick one. If you look at Hadley, she's young and she's so influenced by everything she sees, and that's so that is how people are now. They're comparing themselves to everyone online, and so she certainly is representative of people now because yeah, because she's young and she's impressionable and she's in a job, and I think a lot of young people want to kind of make an impact on the world, and they don't really know what making an impact means or how to do it, and they're lost because of that, I think I don't know. Maeve isn't representative of the world. She's representative of how I feel about the world, I think, which is I'm just so annoyed and stressed that things happen in the way that they do. I don't know. I think, yeah, probably her. I don't know. Oh, what's the guy who actually worked? I can't even remember the names. I'm so sorry. I can't remember the name of the guy who works for the Samaritans. Again, all of them show this kind of disconnection, and I think
I think
that
so.
about the world. And that's the guy. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I think all of this social media stuff was supposed to bring everyone together, and it did for a while, and now actually it's making us all more disconnected than ever. So I don't know which character, but I think a little in all of them. But I think Hadley is the one that, looking back now and how things are now, she's the one who I would worry about the most.
Justice
Thanks,
for Hadley.
Fatima. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that justice for Hadley.
Yeah.
And thank you, Fatima,
Yeah.
for your question and your comments.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, I think that we are very close to finish. So the very last question for me,
Yeah.
if you will be part of the Good Samaritans story, Will,
Yeah.
which character arc would you be more willing to take in the story, or which would you like to live instead of that character?
God, which would I like to live? Do you know, I'm always drawn to Maeve. I think she's because I know her story more, I think, because I know her backstory, I know that actually she's smart and she's strong, and she gets underestimated because she's a woman, and I just I love her. I think if I could if I could be anyone, it would be her. Like, I think, after the book came out, Psychopaths Anonymous, people were making T-shirts with like hashtag Be More Maeve on. That became like a bit of a hashtag thing. I think I think we should all be a little more Maeve. Once you know a bit more about her, you'll see exactly what I'm saying. But she's the one. Yeah, she's the one.
That's quite fair.
Yeah.
And and well, we can now say that it's canon that the final plot twist in Good Samaritans is that Maeve was Will Carver all the time.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah, she pulls off the wig.
Yeah.
She's got hardly any hair, and yeah. Yes.
Well, I don't know if you have your copies with you. I would very much like to take a virtual picture with us, with all together.
Look, and
So
I've even got mine.
yes, and it was a surprise that you have and also this is the Mexican edition because I have seen that the Spanish from Spain edition.
I've got that. Yeah, that's white. It's a similar cover, but
Yeah, and it is quite similar, but it is white. And
the UK one is very kind of, it's a bit abstract. It's a bit,
yeah.
but I really loved this. I loved it because the whole kind of bleach in the bath thing became
Hmm.
like that's what everyone was talking about when this came out. They loved that part.
Would you mind me asking you what is your favorite version, considering all the translations?
What of the covers?
Yeah, the cover, yeah.
I think I think I like this one. I think it's kind of dark and grubby, and I like that the taps are almost black. It looks like they're almost leather, which makes them look even
Yeah.
darker. So yes, I
And
mean
I
I
like
really love.
the chlorine color on the outside also.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, it really stands out. I love it. I know we did have the yellow cover in the UK as well, which
Hmm.
really stood out, um and I do love it. But the guy who designs my covers in the UK is so good. So he does something different every time. It's so great. But yes, this is great. I love it. I love it. It
Thank you
feels
very
good.
much.
Yeah.
Well, so say like Good Samaritans or anything.
What, that you want me to say what?
No, no, no.
Oh,
I was kidding, like when you say
oh.
cheese, but instead of that.
Ah, right. Yeah. Good Samaritans.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Just
Yeah.
smile.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very
Lovely.
much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming and for spending this Saturday noon evening in your side
Yes.
all together. It was a fantastic way to close the book of the month reading. And again, we will be glad to follow and catch up your next releases. Hopefully, someone gets to translate more of your work into Spanish.
Yes, I hope so.
But if it doesn't happen, it will not stop us because we will keep on reading.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Very kind. Very kind. Yeah, I would like it more Spanish versions. I think. Yeah, be lovely.
Thank you very much, Will. Is this the first time you are gathering with Spanish speakers audience or reader?
Yes, yeah, yeah, it's been very nice actually. I went over to Dusseldorf for a German
Hmm.
um thing where I was being interviewed in a big library where there was lots of people there, and I read part of a book and someone walked out shouting at me. She was just disgusted at the part that I'd chosen to read. She was so annoyed. It was wonderful. I loved it. I can't believe that happened, but you've been very nice to me. So yes.
Oh, and you have been very nice to us again. I really like the way that you are often interacting with readers, that you are willing to take these spaces with us,
Yeah,
and
well,
even in the distance. So I
mm,
really, really appreciate it, and thank you again very much for your time.
well, no worries. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
I hope that you have enjoyed, everyone. So have a
Yes,
nice
thanks
weekend.
everyone else. Yeah, thank
Very
you.
nice to meet you, Will. Have a good day
You
or
too.
night
Cheers.
or
Keep enjoying your
cheers.
drink.
Yeah, night. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Will.
Bye.